names was because the IOC, a credible organisation, I hope you're still not thinking that now, wanted it to go to the Southern Hemisphere, and Latin America had the games, and more bullshit, and this was the party line after Rio ran, and too many of the reporters there. Fortunately, I didn't go there till later. I was there later in the week. But that's a good friend of mine, a German reporter, Graham. Not a very good quality picture, but good enough. Look at the handshake. Look at it. 2 hands. It's not the really pleased to meet you. Move away. Rio had just won the vote. And I'm convinced, and I don't have proof for this, but sometimes when you weigh up all the circumstances, they're good enough to take to a court. But Havelange, who we named in a BBC documentary 3 years ago for taking a massive slice of the ISL bribes, and we named him 3 times in the show, and we haven't heard from his lawyers yet. And the statute of limitations means they can go sing. They didn't want to come out to play on that. So we named him as a briber, we named him for paying them, and there they are, just after Rio won. Just old friends, yeah? Draw your own conclusions. Now, you do have to wonder, was Mr. Weber again distributing the cash? Because I could, off camera, name a handful of IOC members who I'm quite sure take bribes, and if we had Richard Pound, but Dick Pound here with us, and again, if we weren't recording it, and asked Dick about his time leading the investigation for the IOC, yes, they got some of them, but he didn't get all of them. And if Pound had been elected president, I think he would have cleaned up. He'd have got these bums out, because who needs it? Who needs these scumbags giving reporters the chance to throw more brickbats at them? Get them out. But Rog isn't up to the job. So I've got no doubt that even after the expulsions following the Salt Lake corruption scandal in 1999, there are still IOC members who sell their vote. But who are these IOC members? Do you really know who's coming to town? Do you really know who these people are? No, you don't, do you? Name some. You got any names? Somebody got 10 names. We have you got 10 of the 106, is it? I think that's the 110, whatever. And the mortician pops around now and again. You've got to work keeping up with the numbers. You don't know who they are, do you? No reason why you should. You lead proper lives doing all the things you should be doing, and trying to learn the membership of the IOC doesn't seem terribly important. But these are the people who put together the ambush of your taxes, which you're now going to live through for several years, and we're going to in London. 70% of the current IOC members were appointed by Samaranch. How would you like that testimony? Yes, I'm a fascist, 37 years standing, and I think you're just the sort of person we need on the IOC. Oh, thank you very much. What does it say about them? Only 16 are women, and 3 of them are little-known European princesses, and there's another one from the Mideast. When candidates become IOC members, and they don't really want to talk about this, although some of us have seen it happen, this is what they do. It's a sort of mafia. You know, it's not the burning of the picture of the Virgin, I think, and whatever, pricking the blood. Listen to this. When they become IOC members, they hold a corner of the Olympic flag. They've got a sacred flag as well, and they repeat, granted the honour of becoming a member of the International Olympic Committee, I undertake to respect the decisions of the committee which I consider as not subject to appeal on my part. Do you want to give up your vote? Do you want to pop down to City Hall and say, take my name off the electoral register, I renounce my right to play any part in the democratic processes of this city, this province, and this country? Don't think so. Join the IOC and you do, but then you get to eat a lot of lobster. Did you ever hear an IOC member criticising their leaders? Well, of course not. And now you know. Every political party in the world, in the roughly free world, has internal dissent. You have them in your leading political parties here, we have them in Britain, and that's quite proper public debate about what the role of the party should be, what its policy should be. There is no, you have never come across an IOC member, apart from Dick. Occasionally he doesn't fly off a bit, and we journalists cherish him for this. The rest of them don't want to talk to us. Now, I can understand people not wanting to talk to me, why should they? But when I'm wearing my reporters hat and asking my questions, about the time they did. But that's why that's why it's the closed society. And I've actually written an essay just recently for an academic magazine comparing. So I spent years and years on organised crime before I moved to the Olympics. It was just a perfect training. I was in Palermo, the Italian mob in London, and running the stuff through Montreal, the big Peter Connection stuff that came through. And I did a lot of work on that, and had one or two nose-to-nose meetings with certain gentlemen in shades who said, "Hey, you're no film here." So we stopped quite soon. That was in Palermo. Now, with Samaranch gone, we've been assured that his successor, Jacques Rogge, is a new broom. And he's certainly got nicer hair and teeth. I'll do good after Samaranch. But let's look at his record. Now, you know, every session, you know, the rest of us have annual general meetings, but the IOC has sessions because they are superior to people like us. AGM sounds so ordinary, doesn't it? Just ordinary. So, the first session that he presided over, after his election, the money went in. I mean, the money went against Dick Pound, and the man paying it was Kim Il-yong from Korea. Remember, Rogge came first, Kim Il-yong, he didn't have to serve all the 3-year sentence he got soon afterwards in Seoul for stealing sports money. He did about 18 months and they let him out. He came second, and poor old Dick got the shaft and came third. So who did Rogge, the new broom? Yes, it's all changed with the new man. Not a fascist, not a man with any record, and I don't think he's in any way involved in the brown envelope trade. I really don't think so. His eyesight must be terrible, but he wouldn't be part of it. So who did he select? In Salt Lake, lovely place to start, he produced his first list of new IOC members. He selected a 24-year-old prince from Saudi and a 22-year-old prince from Qatar. And you'll see them here in a couple of months, demonstrating their considerable expertise in organising complex global sports events. And surely that's the only reason President Rogge appointed these billionaires. 22? What did you know at 22? Would you organise the Olympics? It's actually a lot of work. Whatever we think about it and the budget, it's a lot of work and a lot of brains. And people who actually had to pass competitive examinations, not, I think, the practicing for these gentlemen in Qatar and Saudi. So that was among Rogge's first appointments. Now, in the 2006 Games in Turin, Rogge was spearheading the IOC's claim that it was fighting obesity in youngsters. You know, they have to say this thing because everybody else says it, and it is a matter, as we know, of serious public concern. So, and he made this clear, his battle against obesity. Yes, the IOC were against it. And he went to, he made a special appearance at one of the sponsors' promotional press conferences, and he delivered his message of Olympic love. Ideals? McDonald's? You're smoking that stuff again if you believe that. Ideals from McDonald's? That's, you know, the stockholders don't ask them to be idealistic, and there's no reason why they should. But already they're having results. I'm loving it, I'm lugging it. And they keep moving it on. Now, Rogge's doing his best to encourage our children, if they're under 16 years of age and be got out by the doctors, I should have slipped out, to embrace the IOC McDonald love affair. And this is their next event. Yeah, they've created this Youth Olympics. I can't understand why, except for the most malign reasons. There are young enough athletes in the games anyway. What on earth are parents doing, exposing their children to elite sport in faraway countries where the agents and the dope doctors will be watching them, looking for the right candidates to sign up? So off they go to Singapore in this happy naivety, and here's the slides. Here's the mascots. This is how the IOC today view gender equality. The rampant male and the deferential, coy, subservient female. Not a lot has changed since they wouldn't have women in the IOC, in the event. I mean, I find those images quite shocking, and a friend of mine said,